Good morning, folks. It's Monday, December 5th, and welcome to this week's edition of Ask the Superintendent. Thank you guys so much for all the questions that you've submitted. I've got answers for the questions that I have thus far for this week. There is 2 weeks left in the first semester. So for our high school students who are ending their first 4 classes, make sure you're staying on top of your assignments, your grades, and push hard to the finish line as we work through the end of the semester, final assessments, and SOLs. So please make sure you stay on top of those things. One important announcement, we do have report cards that are coming up as we are ending the end of the first semester. So for a few different reasons, we've got different report card dates for different grade levels. But keep in mind, you can always log on to PowerSchool and check grades anytime. But here they are. For the high school, the report card date will be the 16th of December. That's the end of their first semester. They're ending their classes, so those report card grades will be final. Again, check PowerSchool to see those grades. In grades 3 through 8, report cards will be the 4th of January. So when we come back from winter break, teachers will have one teacher work day, and then those report cards will be due the following day. And for our kindergarten through second grade, who they have standards-based report cards that take a lot of time to create. Those will actually be out on the 13th of January. So keep in mind, if you've got a K through 2 student, the 13th of January, 3 through 8 student, then it'll be the 4th of January, and then our high school students, you should see report cards and final grades on the 16th of December, right before we leave for winter break. So let me jump right into the questions. The first question I got this week was, my son gets picked up by the bus at 6:18. He arrives at the middle school at 6:38. He has to sit at the middle school for a while before they take the high school students over to the high school. Why do we need that much additional time for them to sit at the middle school? So I reached out to our director of transportation, and there's a couple things in play here. Number one, if you remember, usually at the beginning of the school year, right there at Route 3 and 206, there's always a traffic jam. We've got a lot of folks going to the base. We've got school buses, and it just gets to be really thick there in the morning. So there's actually a couple waves of buses that come through in order to get those students in that parking lot and in school in a meaningful amount of time, so that we're not working through all of that base traffic and everything else that we tend to work through during the school year. So there's that factor. The other factor is the route program that we use, that calculates the time it takes to pick up all students on that route. It allows time for every single student along that route, and every single student does not ride the bus every day. And we have to adjust for those times. Also, there's a measure within that program where we're adjusting for traffic. So all of those factors considered, it creates some lag time for students, whether middle school students or high school students, as far as transportation to and from school. So hopefully that answers that question, and you got a better appreciation of the answer. So the second question is, can you help Ms. Duff from the high school get the refunds due to the parents for the AP test from last year? I can tell you a couple things. Number one, the College Board, in my experience, has always been a challenging endeavor to work with. But I can also tell you that if Ms. Duff is working on it, you are probably in good hands. So I reached out to her, and she gave me a message that I think is a very good one. We just received the refund from the College Board, I guess in the last day or so. She's going to reach out to everybody here really soon, if she hasn't already. She's working with Mrs. Catlett, who is the finance director at the high school, and they're working through the process of issuing the refunds. So all of that should be happening here very quickly, thanks to Mrs. Duff's effort in working with the College Board, which I know from personal experience can be very challenging. So thank you, Ms. Duff, for working through that very challenging situation. Third question is, does King George Elementary School have an approved snack list? Let's see, teachers are telling my child that they cannot bring particular snack to school. So I reached out to Mr. Monroe, the principal at the high school, and he assured me that there is not an approved snack list, and he will reiterate to his staff that there is no such thing. So appreciate the question. Moving forward, I don't think you have to worry about an approved snack list. If you have any other concerns or questions, obviously Mr. Monroe can address those for you probably pretty quickly. And then the final question for this week is, I have 3 grandchildren in the middle and high school. Why are both schools unbearably cold? My grandkids complain, layers 2 and 3 pants as shirts. Sealston has no complaints. So reached out to the maintenance department to figure out the temperature at the school. So the schools and typically the classrooms have a thermostat, and they're spaced out. Not every classroom has a thermostat, but they're spaced out across the building. And usually they have a range between 70 degrees and 74 degrees that they can adjust between. Outside of that, any adjustments have to be through the maintenance department. However, I will tell you that we have an energy efficiency contract with Honeywell, and usually when we come back from a break, there's an energy efficiency component where we're cutting back on the air conditioning and heating while there's no students or staff in the building. So just like when you get into your car in the morning and it's cold and it takes a while to heat up, when we talk about our school buildings coming back from a long extended break, it's going to take a decent amount of time in order for that temperature range to work its way back in between that 70 to 74 range. So we should be there now. I think we should be comfortable within that range. If not, then please let us know. Staff members will often let us know, and our maintenance department can jump right on that and see if we can adjust or tweak those temperatures in particular areas of the building. So again, guys, thank you so much for the questions this week. They're very good questions. Please keep them coming. As I've said before, your questions drive our efforts in making our school division great. So please continue to push them our way. And if I don't see or talk to you guys, have a wonderful winter break. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. And we look forward to an amazing second semester. So thank you, and have a great holiday season.